Welcome back. Today we are diving into the wild, absurd, and pixelated history of video games. A story that began with giant vacuum tube computers that weighed more than your entire apartment block, and somehow evolved into people screaming at pixels on RGB backlit screens while eating cold leftover pizza. From landfill-buried cartridges to coin shortages that literally broke national economies, you will not believe how we got here. So grab your favorite controller, press start, and let us jump right into segment 1. Back in 1950, a scientist built a 4-meter-tall giant machine called Bertie the Electron just to play tic-tac-toe against humans. It had hundreds of glowing light bulbs and consumed enough electricity to power a small suburb. Humans would wait in long lines at the Canadian National Exhibition just to get beaten by a 4-ton metal box. It is like spending your weekend getting flexed on by your home refrigerator. In 1958, William Higginbotham got bored at a nuclear research lab and created tennis for two on a tiny oscilloscope screen used for tracking radiation. Visitors stood in line for hours just to bounce a green dot over a line. Then MIT students created Spacewar in 1962 on a computer worth $100,000. Imagine using a multi-million-dollar government supercomputer just to shoot tiny pixel rockets at your dorm roommate. In 1972, Ralph Baer invented the Magnavox Odyssey, the world's very first home video game console. But here is the catch. It could not generate colored graphics, so players had to physically stick plastic overlays onto their TV screens with static electricity. If a stray gust of wind blew through your living room, your tennis court vanished, leaving you staring at two white squares in a blank abyss. That is peak 1970s high-tech DIY engineering. Nolan Bushnell and Atari launched Pong in a local tavern in 1972, and within days, the machine broke down. The owner called Atari in a panic, only to discover the coin box was overflowing with so many quarters it jammed the machine. Gamers were dumping so much pocket change into Pong that laundromats across America actually reported quarter shortages. People literally gave up clean clothes just to slap a white square back and forth. When Space Invaders released in Japan in 1978, it caused such an intense nationwide gaming obsession that the country ran out of 100 yen coins. The Japanese government literally had to triple coin production to keep the economy moving. Arcades opened up on every corner, operating 24 hours a day. Imagine a game so addicting that the central bank has to print emergency money just so teenagers can keep fighting digital aliens. Toru Iwatani came up with the design for Pac-Man in 1980 while staring at a pizza with one slice missing. He wanted to create a game that appealed to everyone, focused on eating food rather than shooting lasers. Pac-Man became a global phenomenon, earning over $2 billion in quarters. That means a single missing slice of pepperoni pizza generated more revenue than the movie Star Wars. Talk about delicious inspiration. By 1983, the market was flooded with terrible games, culminating in Atari's ED game, which was programmed in just 5 chaotic weeks. The game was so bad and unplayable that millions of unsold cartridges were returned. Desperate to hide their shame, Atari loaded up giant dump trucks, drove out into the New Mexico desert, and buried over 700,000 cartridges under concrete. Talk about taking your trash out to the extreme. When gaming was declared dead, Nintendo stepped up in 1985 with the Nintendo Entertainment System. To trick hesitant American retailers who hated video games, they packaged it with ROB, a goofy plastic robot buddy. Retailers thought they were buying an interactive toy robot, but inside was Super Mario Bros. Mario saved the entire global gaming industry by jumping on mushrooms and stomping on angry turtles. The 1990s gave birth to the legendary console wars between Sega and Nintendo. Sega launched aggressive ad campaigns with iconic taglines like "Genesis does what Nintendo," and hyped up mysterious features like blast processing. Kids in school cafeterias argued fiercely over Sonic's speed versus Mario's mustache like high-stakes political debaters. It was the original platform war before smartphones existed. In the mid-90s, Nintendo partnered with Sony to create a CD-ROM add-on, but Nintendo famously backed out of the deal at the last minute. Sony CEO got so furious that he decided to build their own console out of revenge. That revenge project became the Sony PlayStation, which sold over 100 million units and revolutionized 3D gaming. Never dump Sony, or they will accidentally reshape pop culture history. In 2005, a glitch in World of Warcraft triggered the Corrupted Blood incident, an accidental virtual plague that infected millions of player avatars and wiped out whole virtual cities in hours. Real-world epidemiologists actually studied the digital outbreak to learn how real humans react during actual pandemics, including panic, quarantine, and heroic digital doctors. Gaming turned into serious science. Today, the gaming industry generates over $200 billion annually, making it bigger than the global movie and music industries combined. Pro gamers pack stadiums to watch esports tournaments. Teens are literally winning millions of dollars playing Fortnite in their bedrooms, while their parents used to tell them gaming would rot their brains. Who is laughing now, Mom? From 4-ton tic-tac-toe machines to stadium-filling esports arenas, video games have had one of the craziest journeys in human history. If you enjoyed this wild history lesson, hit that like button, subscribe for more hilarious deep dives, and drop a comment with your all-time favorite game. See you next time.